It's Monday, the 27th of January, 2025. Welcome to the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed, where we give you the top 5 business stories you need to know in just 5 minutes. I'm Michael Thompson, and good morning, Sean Aylmer.
Good morning, Michael.
Sean, 5 stories, 5 minutes. Let's go. Story number 1, federal politicians are in campaign mode, with both the Prime Minister, Anthony Albanese, and Leader of the Opposition, Peter Dutton, using every opportunity, it seems, to sell their wares.
Polls show a very close race. The election is due before the middle of May. A little bit of talk around it being on the 12th of April. Both used Australia Day to push their agenda. We can expect much more of that. Anthony Albanese actually gave a major speech and answered questions at the National Press Club on Friday. He expanded on a number of subjects, not least being Donald Trump, when asked about the US president's decision to again exit the Paris Climate Agreement. Mr. Albanese said Australia won't follow. He said the decision in the US provides an opportunity for Australia, particularly around the renewable energy industries. The Prime Minister agreed to holding election debates before the next poll. He said there would be no referendums if Labor is re-elected, and he defended the party's record on anti-Semitism. Mr. Albanese also said he believes the worst of the international economic challenges are behind Australia. That's good news, but he recognises things are still pretty hard for average families around the country.
Yeah, it sounds like campaigning has well and truly begun. Sean, on to story number 2. There's a fair bit of blowback on the dollar Trump and dollar Melania meme coins from within the crypto industry.
They were launched about 10 days ago. The coins themselves have no economic purpose. Their value is based on the popularity of the internet memes, in this case Donald Trump and Melania Trump. Dollar Trump, at one point, its market value was well over $8 billion. Dollar Melania was worth about $1.3 billion US dollars. Now, that's according to CoinMarketCap. They got sold off big time late last week, so they're worth a lot less. But the problem, as far according to crypto execs quoted in the Wall Street Journal, is that the whole froth and bubble undermines the credibility of the industry. Now, they've worked hard for years to build that credibility. And then we get these sort of meme coins come and they go up and they go down, and it really does undermine the industry. There's also this issue of a massive conflict of interest. Donald Trump benefits from the sale of tokens and sets policy on how digital tokens are valued and regulated. But just parking that, the froth and bubble does not help the industry.
Yeah, indeed. On to story number 3 now, Sean. Penny Wong is under pressure over her role as foreign minister, with opposition leader Peter Dutton saying she has, quote, trashed Australia's relationship with Israel.
The comments came as a petition circulated calling for Senator Wong not to lead Australia's delegation at this week's event in Poland commemorating the liberation of Auschwitz. That particular petition gained more than 10,000 signatures in 3 days. Meanwhile, one of Australia's most prominent Jewish figures, Westfield founder Frank Lowy, has called on the federal government to lead by example and fulfil its duty and obligation to stamp out anti-Semitism, which he said is staining Australia's identity as a fair country.
Story number 4, Australia's pensions industry has been widely celebrated, of course, for building a $4.1 trillion nest egg for the country's workers. But it's been less successful, Sean, in helping those savers manage their cash once they actually retire.
Bit of a problem here. The Australian superannuation system is lagging behind other wealthy countries because it isn't providing enough guidance on how to spend money in retirement, according to a major report from the Grattan Institute. It's causing people to be anxious. 2.5 million people will retire over the next decade. They've done a great job generally saving for retirement. Problem is, they don't know how to spend it once it's finished. The report says the super system is, in effect, becoming a bigger and bigger inheritance scheme. Now, compulsory super jumps to 12% in July this year, so the size of the prize is growing and growing. The Grattan Institute recommends retirees be encouraged to use a portion of their pension savings to buy a government annuity, which is basically a product that guarantees an income to people for the rest of their lives. Some Australian funds are beginning to offer such products, but there's the fundamental question of retirees knowing how to spend all their millions is still a real one.
Last one, Sean. Story number 5. New York, like many cities around the world, has enormous traffic snarls, but a new congestion toll seems to be working, with cars moving faster around Manhattan.
Cars are travelling much faster along Manhattan's bridges and tunnels since the city implemented its long-debated congestion pricing plan early on 5 January. The Financial Times is reporting that morning rush hour speed from New Jersey through the Holland Tunnel, a main route under the Hudson River into Manhattan, has almost doubled to 28 miles an hour compared to a year earlier. Evening speed over the Manhattan Bridge to Brooklyn has increased from 13 miles an hour to 23 miles an hour. Motorists are charged somewhere between $4.50 and $14.40. Cars are $9 to enter the congestion zone. New York joins London, Milan, Singapore and Stockholm in a small club of big cities with congestion pricing. Traffic in London, which introduced its program in 2003, one of the early ones, it dropped by 14% in its zone in the first year. The other cities experienced drops of more than 20%. So this congestion pricing definitely works.
Indeed. All right, there we go. The top 5 business stories in 5 minutes. Thank you, Sean.
Thank you, Michael.
It is Monday, the 27th of January, 2025. Remember to hit follow on the podcast. And if 5 minutes isn't enough, you can find our longer daily show called Fear and Greed, wherever you listen to podcasts. I'm Michael Thompson, and that was the Fast 5 Business News by Fear and Greed. Have a great day.